What happens when a simple mistake turns into a life-changing moment? What happens when a rude customer gets more than they bargained for? And what happens when the truth unfolds in the most unexpected way? This is a story of a barista, a CEO, and a spilled cup of coffee that changed everything. Mia Thompson was the kind of person who believed in hard work, even when the world seemed to push her down. She was 24, with warm brown eyes and a smile that could light up even the darkest room. But life hadn't been easy for Mia. She worked long hours at a small coffee shop called Morning Brew, serving lattes and cappuccinos to people who rarely said thank you. Her dream was to one day open her own cafe, a place where everyone felt welcome. But for now, she was just trying to make ends meet. One rainy Tuesday morning, the coffee shop was busier than usual. The sound of the espresso machine hissed in the background, and the smell of freshly ground beans filled the air. Mia moved quickly behind the counter, her hand steady as she poured milk into a steaming cup. She loved her job, even on the hardest days. But today was about to test her patience. Enter Derek Collins. He was a regular customer, but not the kind anyone looked forward to serving. Derek was always in a hurry, always demanding and never satisfied. His sharp tone and constant complaints made him the most dreaded person in the shop. That morning, he stormed in, his expensive suit dripping from the rain, and slammed his briefcase on the counter. Large black coffee. Now, and don't mess it up this time, he snapped, not even looking at Mia. Mia took a deep breath. She had learned to stay calm, even when customers like Derek tried to rattle her. She prepared his coffee carefully, her hands moving with precision. But as she handed him the cup, something unexpected happened. Derek turned abruptly, his elbow knocking into the cup. Hot coffee spilled all over his crisp white shirt. The room went silent. Derek's face turned red with anger. "Are you kidding me?" he shouted, his voice echoing through the shop. "This is the last straw. I'm going to get you fired for this." Mia's heart sank. She had worked so hard, and now it felt like everything was falling apart. She tried to apologize, but Derek wasn't listening. He stormed off, leaving a trail of spilled coffee and broken confidence behind him. What Mia didn't know was that someone had been watching the entire scene unfold. A man named Lucas Bennett had been sitting in the corner of the shop, quietly sipping his tea. Lucas wasn't just any customer. He was the CEO of the company that owned Morning Brew. But he wasn't there as the CEO today. He was there undercover, observing how his employees handled the pressures of the job. Lucas had seen it all. He had seen Mia's kindness, her patience, and her dedication. He had also seen Derek's rudeness and the way he had treated her. And now, as he watched Mia wipe away a tear and continue serving customers with a brave smile, he knew he had to do something. The next day, Mia arrived at work, her stomach in knots. She was sure she would be fired, but instead, she was called into the manager's office. When she walked in, she saw Lucas sitting there, his expression calm but serious. "Mia," he began, "I saw what happened yesterday, and I want you to know you're not in trouble." Mia blinked, confused. "I'm not." Lucas shook his head. "No. In fact, I'm promoting you. You've shown incredible strength and professionalism, even in the face of disrespect. That's the kind of attitude we need in leadership." Mia's eyes filled with tears. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. "But I'm just a barista," she said softly. Lucas smiled. "You're more than that, Mia. You're someone who cares. And that's exactly why you deserve this." But the story doesn't end there. As Mia settled into her new role, she discovered something that would change everything. Lucas wasn't just promoting her because of her kindness. He had a deeper reason. Years ago, Lucas had been in Mia's shoes. He had started as a barista too, working long hours and dreaming of something more. He knew what it felt like to be overlooked, to be treated like you didn't matter. And he had made it his mission to help others like him. When Mia learned this, it felt like the pieces of her life were finally coming together. She realized that her struggles weren't in vain. They were stepping stones, leading her to something greater. And as she stood in the coffee shop that had once felt so small, she knew that her dreams were within reach. The second twist came when Derek returned to the shop a week later. This time, he wasn't wearing a suit. He looked tired, almost defeated. He approached Mia, his voice softer than she had ever heard it. I owe you an apology, he said, his eyes downcast. I've been going through a lot lately, and I took it out on you. That wasn't fair. Mia listened, her heart softening. She could see the pain in his eyes, the weight of whatever he was carrying. It's okay, she said gently. We all have bad days. Derek nodded, a small smile breaking through. Thank you, and congratulations on the promotion. You deserve it. As Derek walked away, Mia felt a sense of closure. She had faced her fears, stood up to challenges, and come out stronger on the other side. And now, she was ready to take on whatever came next. This is a story of Mia Thompson, a barista who spilled coffee on a rude customer and ended up changing her life. It's a story about kindness, resilience, and the power of second chances. Because sometimes the smallest moments can lead to the biggest transformations.